Have you ever wondered which Daniel Smith Black you should get? From these stock cards, you can figure out which black is the best black for you. Let's just try these blacks. So I'm going to start with Lunar Violet, which it says it's a violet, but it is a really, really, really dark. So we're going to start over here and look at that. It is just really dark. So dark that I can't hardly see any black in it. It does lean towards violet, but it's pretty black. Then I'm going to go to neutral tint. This is going to tell me what I need in my palette. Now there is some granulation that's happened here, but we'll look at those in a minute and what they do. Here's neutral tint. Oh, that's really dark. It has a little violet leaning as well. There's neutral tint. The next one I'm going to skip. It's graphite gray. We can go ahead and swatch it out. It's pretty dark. Graphite gray. It's very neutral. Doesn't really have a lot of cool or warm tones in it. Okay, the next one down is Payne's Blue Gray. So let's see what that does. It's not Payne's Gray, it's Payne's Blue Gray. And it does have some blue in it. I'll put close-ups at the end of the video so you can see the differences. I just love these dot cards because it really gives you a lot of range and lets you know what to buy. Okay, this next one is just plain Payne's Gray. Okay, that was plain Payne's Blue Gray. This is Payne's Gray. And it is more gray. Less blue undertone. Okay, this next one is actually a black. It's Lamp Black. I've gotten so much use out of these. I'll link these dot cards in the description below so you can pick some up if you want. They're not very expensive. Here is Lamp Black. Really dark, nice black. Now, one thing I noticed on these dot cards, it does not have pigment numbers on the dot cards. So, but you can go to Daniel Smith's website and I will link that below and you can get the pigment numbers. Okay, the next one is Black Tourmaline Genuine. Okay, let's just see. I'm going to get a little bit of water. This is a Chromatic color. That Lamp Black does say it's an opaque, but excellent light fast. Okay, here's Black Tourmaline. Chromatic, I am saying that it's going to granulate. So I've got a little bit more water here. Black Tourmaline Genuine. I'm going to try to pick up a little bit more pigment and lay in there. Some of these Chromatic colors on the dot cards, they don't have as much paint as some of the regular colors. Okay, the next one is Ivory Black. I think this is a good way to test and see what you want to buy. Ivory Black. It says semi-opaque. That has a little bit more of a warm undertone to it. You know, all this is very useful information when you go to purchase your colors. And this last one is Lunar Black. Now this is one, if I don't mix my own black with ultramarine and burnt umber, this is the black I'll use. I find this very useful in trees. I love this black. It's just a really dark black that's very useful. Plus, it has a lot of granulation. So I will put some water in there so you can see that granulation. Now we'll come back in a few minutes and we will look at these once they've dried. Okay, so these have dried, and for good measure I went up one more and swatched Bloodstone Genuine. So there is quite an array of blacks here. You know, if you really wanted dark, and I will, let me get this palette out here, just so you can see burnt umber and ultramarine mixed together. Ultramarine blue and, let's see, let me bring this over here. Ultramarine blue, burnt umber. They make a nice dark too. You know, you don't have to have a black on your palette, by all means. You can just mix what they call a chromatic black. And here is that. I never can get a good black. I'll put it right here. I never can get a really good dark. You could probably mix it thicker. I'm mixing from dried pans. Let's see, let me try to work up some here. That's better. Ultramarine. Get a good mix. Now that I wet them, there you can get a good inky dark. Let me put a little bit more blue. There we go. And you can get a better dark out of that. And it will granulate a little bit. So there's ultramarine blue and burnt umber. Let me put that. Ultramarine blue and burnt umber mixed. So there's that. You can make a black with those two colors. Or burnt sienna. Burnt sienna is a little bit more red tone, orangey tone, so it cancels out ultramarine. I like it better with burnt umber. So that's just my preference. You do you. So the Bloodstone Genuine, that has a little bit of granulation in them. I'll take a picture, close-up picture, and put this at the end of the video. The Lunar Violet, that has a little bit of violet tones coming through. I could probably get it darker if I had it in tube form. Neutral Tint, Graphite Gray, Payne's Gray Blue, Payne's Gray, Lamp Black. Now that's real dark. No granulation. And it is transparent. Blank Tourmaline is kind of a grayish, and it's a Primatech color, and it has some granulation. Ivory Black, now that's a little bit warmer. I see some yellow undertones there. And Lunar Black, which I have on my palette. So I use that because I mix it with in landscapes, and it gives me a really good shadow color. So also, I have 3 new blacks. I have McCracken Black, and that's a mixture of several different pigments. I'm just going to open up the tube here, and I'm just going to take a little bit out, and I'm going to swatch it here. It's a really nice black. I see some granulation. I see some reddish violet tones coming through. But for the most part, it's pretty neutral. We'll see how it looks after it dries down. Okay, then I have Jane's Black. Jane Blundell helps create certain pigment combinations for Daniel Smith. She is a guru with pigments, so I'll put her website below. I use it as reference a lot. So this is Jane's Black Blue Orange, and she also has a mix called Jane's Gray, which is a ultramarine and burnt sienna, I believe. So this is a warmer black because it's coming through. Now I can see the brown. Here is Jane's Black Blue Orange. I'm going to see if I can see any separation of pigments. So I'm going to put it mass tone here. This is like butter consistency. Then we'll wet my brush and pull it out. I can't see any separation of pigments. It's got PB15.6, which is a phthalo, and Naphthol Red, PR188, and Pyro Orange, PO71. So that has 3 pigments in it. And it doesn't look to be granulating. It's very dark. It doesn't separate in its pigments. A really good black. I would say even more neutral than the lamp black. I don't know. We'll see after it dries down. It looks really good. Here's Jane's Black Red Green. I put both of these in pans, but I'm taking them straight from the tube. I'm going to put it straight on. Need to get some more water to make it flow. Okay, and I'm going to take some of that pigment off and pull it out. This seems a little bit cooler. Nice. If you order dot cards from Amazon, I don't know from my link, I don't know which dot cards you will get, because I bought my dot cards probably 5 years ago, and Daniel Smith has come out with more colors. So looking at it now in my screen, I can see a difference here. This is probably the most granulating. I really, really like that. If you mix that with other colors, it doesn't cancel out the pigment. You can still see, like, if you mix it with brown, you can still see the brown come through. If you mix it with, you know, red or purple or green, you can still see those colors come through. I like to mix it with Green Apatite Genuine sometimes. That's one of my main palette pigments on my landscape palettes. You know, I can definitely see that this Ivory Black is warmer than the Lamp Black. So you have a good selection to pick from, whatever you want to get. Your eyes, one thing about having these dot cards is your eyes may see these differently than my eyes. So, you know, I think it's really important that everybody, you know, swatch things out for themselves and look for themselves and use my information or any other information as a guide. Kimberly Crick has a good YouTube channel, and so does Dr. Otto Kano. She has good YouTube channel comparing blacks, and on her website she's got a whole database. So it is really good information. I recommend her information to go look at it. And Jane Blundell, she has excellent information on pigments. That's it for today, guys. I'm going to take a picture of this and show that at the end of the video. You know, let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite black pigment, or do you even use the black pigment? Do you just mix your own? I know a lot of painters who do that. I'm not against a black pigment. I love this. This is, I think, PBK11. A lot of companies have this color. I love it. But I'm also looking at these, and I love these Jane's Black and both. And I like this McCracken Black too. But I also mix my own sometimes. So, you know, there you go. I just like variety, I guess. So, all right. Thanks for joining me, guys, and talk to you later and see you soon.